Hi guys, and welcome to this Q&A video. So this is Q&A video number 5. So we'll get straight into it. And Estelle Storzy has asked, since when were you a fan of Doctor Who and when did you become a cosplayer? So I ended up getting into Doctor Who when it first came back in 2005. Admittedly, I didn't watch every single episode because I think I missed a few. But certainly when David took over, that was when I watched it religiously as such. And with regards to when I became a cosplayer, that kind of happened at the same time, really. I ended up that I really sort of fell in love with David's Doctor, and Rose and Martha and Donna and all of that. And I always got bullied at school, and so I thought that, you know, maybe dressing up as the Doctor meant that people would like me a bit more. And so that's part of the reason why I started cosplaying, but also because I quite liked prop making and making things from, you know, a young age. So I always took things apart, would make things out of Lego and bits and pieces I had around the house. So that was kind of when I first started doing it. I remember my first sort of cosplay was I think it was just a suit that I'd bought. I had from a charity shop. But the first proper David Tennant costume, I would say, was this. It was a woman's 3/4 length pinstripe brown jacket, which was the closest thing I'd sort of found to David's costume. And then it slowly progressed, as most people's cosplays do. They'll start from somewhere and then they'll improve it. And I think I bought a suit from Sainsbury's, I think, which was a brown pinstripe suit, and then I had this camel overcoat, which was quite heavy and quite warm. So, and obviously it's progressed and progressed and progressed until where I am today. So that's kind of when I started to sort of 2005, 2006 was when it sort of started. So, you know, you're talking 13 odd years that I've been cosplaying, which is kind of crazy, really. And especially with the amount of costumes that I've got now, you know, I have all of the Doctor's costumes. I've got other fandoms, you know, and yeah, I mean, I've got a whole rack just full of costumes, which is kind of crazy, really. I dread to think how much I've spent on costumes and outfits over the years. But so TARDIS Pod asks, "Hi, can I ask what you have in your River Song diary?" So it's pretty much fully illustrated. My version isn't as nice as I'd like it to be. I actually made one for a friend for her birthday, my friend Cara, who cosplays as River Song. And I made it using some faux leatherette, some cardboard, and I actually made the pages and sewed them all together, etc. And she now uses that because it was a blank diary, and she uses that for her autographs. But my one, I made it. It was just really thin cardboard, like from boxes, and I basically, again, I put all the pages together, sewed them all together, tea stained it all, and then sat there and wrote different bits into the journal. So there were some pages that I'd found reference-wise of what was meant to be or is in the original diary. I can't remember where I came across them. I think it was possibly on Google. But yeah, there was some pages which, if I've got them, I'll put them up. And that was basically sort of start of how I started it, and then progressed from there and added in bits from the show and other bits that, you know, may be related to River and the Doctor, and that's how that basically looks. I do need to create a new cover for it to make it look a little bit better, but I certainly wouldn't want to have to sit there and do another cover. Same with the Supernatural Journal. That's another one that it's just a lot of content inside of it, and it takes a very long time to finish it, and I still need to redo that. So Life of Harry Webster says, "I really liked your video. Would you make a 12th Doctor's TARDIS console?" I mean, as you can see, I have my 9th and 10th Doctor's console, and that in itself was a bit of a nightmare to do things on it. And I know for a fact that Capaldi's console was a very tricky one in respect of parts. There's a lot of buttons, a lot of expensive parts as well, and it would certainly go into the thousands if you were to do it properly. So I don't think I'd decouple this console, and as much as I do like the console design, it's also I don't know, I suppose it's not as interesting to me as David's and Eccleston's console. So yeah. So Kate Michi, 16, who I met at LFCC, says, "Do you want me to make my next year's cosplay outfit?" Probably not. With the amount of costumes and props and stuff I have, probably haven't even got time. I don't even know what you want to do. So, you know, if you want to tell me, then just drop me a message. But, you know, if I can try and help out, I'll try and help out. So Oliver Frost, 1963, says, "What's the best encounter with a cosplay item that you've got relatively cheap and screen accurate?" So I sat there and thought about this because I've got a few screen accurate items that are pretty decent. I mean, so I've got the 2 Capaldi belts. I mean, he wore 3, but the Series 8 and the Series 9 and Series 10 belts. I've got the 2 of those. They were relatively cheap. I think one was about £9, the other was about 15. I'd probably say my David Tennant 50th anniversary tie, because I did go and buy it from Debenhams when it was £14. I've not had to go and buy one on eBay for £100, and I've not had to go on to Magnolia and buy one of their replicas. So I have got one of the original run ties. So, you know, that's probably the best item I've probably paid for. I mean, there's a few screen accurate bits I've got, but one, I don't really wear half of them at times, and 2, yeah, it's just, I mean, like, I've got things like my David Tennant Converse, my cream ones. I wear them a lot of the time. So, you know, some of them get a lot more use other than just cosplay. So it's kind of, yeah, a little bit in the middle, really. So Jaden Fulton 00 says, "How did you get into Doctor Who, and what made you build the amazing TARDIS console?" So, well, I mean, as stated earlier on, so Doctor Who was very much kind of my escape from real life. I had a bit of a difficult childhood, and I won't bore you into that. But yeah, it was, as I say, I did get bullied quite a lot at school, and that was kind of my escape from it. But you know, I've always loved making things, and that's why I love things like Lego. You know, because it's something that you can play with at any age. But with regards to the console, so as stated in a few of the previous videos of Q&As, you know, my TARDIS console originally was a washing bin. It was a white washing bin that was probably about 2 foot wide. It had a domed lid and probably stood about 3 foot tall. And I basically covered it in white paper. I got an old belt, cut that up into strips to make the buttress sections there, and then I got this white paint pot, and I got a Dyson cylinder that fit tightly over the top of that, and just balanced that on the top of it. And then I got an old calculator, and I think I had some dingbat pieces or checkers pieces off of a chessboard. And there was some other bits that I'd sort of sellotape to it, and that was kind of it. And it's progressed over the years. And I'm part of a website called TARDIS Builders, and they give you some really good reference material on the original props and where things come from. So I've managed to get some screen accurate items onto the console. So that little windy bit there, that is off of a vintage Singer sewing machine, but it is one of the original parts on the console. There's a silver part, I'm trying to do this there, that's actually from the original place they bought the parts for, Bob's Bits. So that's an accurate piece. There's the accurate bubble paperweights, there's some AGU fuse holders, there's some motors from the insides of computer hard drives. So they're all accurate parts on the console, and it's, as I say, it's progressed over the years of me building it and rebuilding it, and using different materials and researching in how to build it properly. So I mean, that's that. You know, I suppose it's with all my props. You know, there's always some sort of fascination in how to make it and how easy it would be, and you know, there's a lot. Sometimes with some of them there is a lot of trial and error, and sometimes there's a lot of remaking and finding bits that are going to do the job. So, you know, there are props that I've made and remade over the years to make them look better. And lastly, Ryan Armstrong asks, if I could own any screen-used prop, what would it be and why? It's a bit of a tough one, really. I mean, because I had a life-size TARDIS, and I've obviously got my console. I don't have the TARDIS anymore because it was outside for 6 years and rotted away. So I mean, having another one of those would be pretty cool, but I haven't got the space for one. Maybe something like Matt Smith's sonic screwdriver, because as much as I have one company one, I'd love to own either a rubber toe version, or you know, if I could get my hands on one of the screen used ones, that would be amazing. But then saying that, I know that Matt had a tendency to break them. So in how good a decent condition that would be, I wouldn't be able to say. But yeah, it's certainly an interesting one. And with regards to how much I've got in my room now, it wouldn't be able to be anything big. So yeah, that's probably what I go for, would be a 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver. So yeah. Hopefully that's answered all your questions. Sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded. It's been rather busy with Comic Con and other bits and pieces with work and stuff like that. And I mean, you'll see that I've been updating stuff on my Instagram if you follow me on there. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, the room's had a bit of a change round in here, and with regards to display, etc. And you would have seen that on Instagram too. So I've been doing a lot of Harry Potter stuff recently. I've kind of had the bug for that, really. So that's kind of been the go-to thing at the minute. But LFCC was really good. Spent time sitting there doing props and costumes for that, so that took up a lot of time and money, which was always fun. But yeah, so hopefully it won't be too long till I put out another video, and if you haven't already, then you can go and subscribe to my channel and hit that like button if you've liked this video. Do check out my other videos on the channel. There's lots of other bits on there that you can go and have a look at. And if you haven't already as well, you can go and like me on Instagram, and you can follow me on Facebook as well, which I don't post too much on Facebook. Normally it's when I upload a video from here, I'll put a link on there, but I'm much more active on my Instagram, so it's worth giving me a follow on there. Alright, so thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.